Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gridiron Gals Podcast. I'm Reeta, the NFL chick.
And hey, everybody, it's Chels, aka Chels is right.
We are at the Super Bowl part of the NFL season, which means we are at the last game of the NFL season. And this is the part where everybody starts getting depressed. You watch basketball because, playoffs are starting to come around. Baseball is getting close. You got the UFL that's coming up, Chels, too, with the two leagues that combine, the XFL and the USFL. So they're called the UFL now. So, like, football itself won't be gone, but the NFL is about to be no more until at least August of 2024. I'm talking about like on the field action, not, draft.
We know it's all year round, but yeah.
Right. So sad time, but we watch games weekly because we look forward to who's going to make it to the final two, and we know that it's the Chiefs and the 49ers. But before we get to that game and what we think will happen, we know that the NFL honors happened prior to Super Bowl, as it does every year, and so there were some awards that, people thought was cool. People thought didn't. I don't know how that worked out. People, Okay, so I'm going to work from the bottom up, Chels.
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's start with the rookies. So Offensive Rookie of the Year, CJ Stroud squeaked one out against Puka Nacua. Thoughts?
Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I think he earned it. I mean, a close between the two. Somebody got to get it right. But yeah. I'm fine with CJ Stroud getting it. He did a marvelous job this year.
I agree with you. I wouldn't have had a problem with it. If it was Puka. I think he finished top 5 in receiving yards in the whole league. So I don't have. And I've seen Puka essentially just obliterate the Ravens secondary, and so that was nasty work. But I also understand CJ Stroud and just being the predicament that he's in terms of being a rookie quarterback on a team with a rookie coach, taking them to the playoffs, great feat. So I understand. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson, Houston Texans. What's your thoughts?
Roll Tide is my thoughts.
All right.
Never a doubt.
I apologize, but I think we have the same shirt on, but I got the sweatshirt on and you got the shirt on.
Because this is why we are besties.
It's crazy. Sorry, y'all. I mean, the brain just kept looking like that's like Purple Rain. I got on Purple Rain.
But okay. Look, how often do you see me look like this? Because I wear this shirt twice a week. To the point that this is a new shirt. This is a new print shirt. The other one I turned it gray like your shirt.
That's hilarious. Mine's a sweatshirt, and so the reason why you probably couldn't see it is because it's beaded. Gold bead.
Okay.
So it's kind of shimmery. It's cute. 40 years old this year, Purple Rain turns. So if y'all want to feel old, well, there you go. All right, back to the awards. Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski over DeMeco Ryans. What was your thoughts?
Highway robbery.
You think so?
Hey, man, DeMeco should have got that award. I'm sorry. I think he should. Nothing against Kevin Stefanski. I'm not saying he's not deserving, but I think that DeMeco is the better story.
Okay.
I think DeMeco is the better story.
So they only it was one difference.
One vote difference, yeah.
He only won by one vote, Kevin Stefanski. And while I agree that I do think that DeMeco should have won, I also had to remind myself that the Browns ended up being second in the division, and they called the old man off his couch to come help them make a playoff push, and they only had 5 losses. Like, that is wild to me. Like, they had 4 different quarterbacks, 4 this season, and they went to the playoffs. Wow. So I do understand, I guess, that logic, how that goes, but I still think DeMeco should have won, but I'm also too, like, not like mad about Kevin Stefanski because I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, and I mean it's a 1 vote difference, so clearly people are going to be split about it. But
right,
they could have gave it to him because it's Black History Month.
I'm with you on that one. Y'all knew what it was. You should have just went on ahead and voted for that man just for the sake that it was Black History Month. We don't like that. Okay. Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey. How do we feel about that?
Listen, it was either that or MVP. And people probably wanted him to be MVP. So go ahead and give him Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's phenomenal. I mean, you really cannot argue with that. So I'm fine with it.
I think Christian McCaffrey is what makes that offense go in San Francisco, not Brock Purdy. So, and I like Brock Purdy, by the way, but I do think Brock Purdy is a game manager, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. So, I think Christian McCaffrey is a big part of what it is that they do, because he can do it all. He can catch, he can, run, he can pass, protect. I think that this was worthy. So, I like the pick. Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know if I had a conversation with you on here or somewhere else, but I said that I thought that Myles Garrett was going to win, and everybody's like, "Oh no, TJ Watt's going to win," which understandably so. TJ Watt had a good season, and he's going to go in the Hall of Fame. TJ Watt, but he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. Myles Garrett did, and it's funny because I don't think that TJ Watt has statistics that I think are tangible for us to say, okay, this is defensive player of the year worthy, like sacks, right? Mm-hmm. Because he's a defensive end / outside linebacker. Whereas Myles Garrett is a defensive tackle. So I don't think that his numbers merit, like you wouldn't, they're not sexy, but if you watch him on film, then you get a different story. So, right. Did you think that they got this right? Did TJ Watt get snubbed? What's your thoughts?
So I think that when you get down to players, and what was the difference in the votes? Because I think it just comes down to like what type of player, when it comes down to people, non-voters, right? It comes down to like what type of player do you think stands out, makes this much of a difference of their team? Do you think that TJ Watt makes a huge difference on the team like Myles Garrett? What were the Steelers able to do when TJ Watt got hurt and wasn't able to play? Or were they not? So, I mean, I really...
Okay, I found it. So Myles Garrett had 23 and TJ Watt had 19. So it was a 4 vote.
It was still close. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's fine. I don't think it's very... well, I guess we'll get
first place votes. I want to be clear.
First place votes, yeah.
You can vote first place, second place, and third place. So he had the most first place votes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you just can't deny what Myles Garrett has done. I mean, I just think when it gets close like that, it's just what style of player you like, and like you said, is what they do sexy enough,
right? And the job that Myles Garrett does is not necessarily sexy. It doesn't come with, again, tangible statistics that people can rely on. It requires you to actually watch
film. Yes. To know what you're watching, to know what you're watching. So this is not a decision that one of them talking heads on ESPN can make, because they don't really be watching. Not all of them really be actually watching. You got to be watching. Whereas TJ Watt or like a Michael Parsons or somebody like that, like they all over the place. You can, they flashy.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with you. All right. Here's where it starts getting interesting. Comeback Player of the Year, which I think that we all thought that DeMar Hamlin was going to get, because DeMar Hamlin actually played in a football game. He actually played in the divisional game. Now, he didn't get that 4th down conversion, but they tried to Disney story his ass. They definitely tried. But instead, it went to the Browns quarterback, Joe Flacco, who, again, was on the couch chilling in November until he got a call that can he come in and help the Browns win, in which they did, and ended up with a playoff berth and they lost in a wild card, but still got to the playoffs with Joe's help. So
here's my thing about comeback player. What is the gauge? What are you saying that they have come back from? Is it come back from obscurity, like you weren't playing and you were sitting on the coach and you just sitting on the couch and eating your little cheesesteak and then play, or have you come back from some sort of injury, like, or is it just I'm just like, well, what do y'all think? Because DeMar Hamlin literally came back from the dead. The man, we almost saw a person die on the field, and thank God we did not see that. And we saw that, and I feel like the whole football world was sitting vigil for days, because we was like, this boy cannot die. He cannot die. And then we see him come back and actually come back and play. Like, what more of a comeback do you need? The man is like Lazarus. What more do you need?
It is too broad. I don't understand. I actually think DeMar Hamlin did walk to the white light in that game. I think he was out here. And he got revived. Okay. I truly believe he was walking out.
He was out of there.
And saying peace out. And the paramedics and the medics, thank God for them, brought him back to life. So I don't know what more of come back you need, because you came back to life. Like, I don't understand.
Back to life. Like Lazarus. They called his name. He came back.
Came back. Like, there is no, matter of fact, let's call the comeback player of the year the DeMar Hamlin comeback player of the year at this point, because there ain't no better comeback than that, bro. Ain't no better comeback than that.
Maybe we can call it the Back to Life Award. This is a perfect opportunity for you to start singing. Yes, you missed it. You missed the opportunity. Yep.
Back to life, back to reality, back to life. DeMar's back to reality. And the reality is, they said, you ain't come back enough and you ain't getting this award, which is extremely wild to me. Like,
maybe they wanted the man to walk on water. Maybe they wanted him to walk on water. What did the boy have to do?
He had to convert that fourth down. Well, then again, the votes were already in. So that would not have happened. But maybe he would have had to make like some type of like game tackling play for them to be like, oh yeah, DeMar is going to get the comeback player of the year.
These guys are idiots.
I just don't understand like what the merit is, because he literally is the like literal sense of comeback.
He literally came back.
So shout out to y'all for being stupid. Joe had a phenomenal time in his short time being back in the league, and I am proud of Joe. As you know, he was a former Raven. I hate the fact that he went to Cleveland, but I also understand he's probably trying to get away from them kids, because he got a lot of kids, like 4 or 5 kids or something like that. I know he was like, oh, I got to get the fuck up out of here because y'all are annoying.
Y'all all over the place now. Let me get on back to the football field.
All over the place. I just don't want to do it. And so his wife had to go right back to being on mommy duty, and she had to take care of the kids full time. And he said, I got to study this playbook. So I get it. She
was mad as hell.
I know she was mad because she thought she had a full-time daddy. I know she was mad.
Binge watching her favorite show, and then he saw something. Hey, I got to go back to work. What? Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my God. Ain't no more Netflix and chill, baby. You in that playbook.
She said, what? I'm on episode 8.
So yeah. So I love Joe. I just don't think that you can beat anybody that came from death on the football field for a comeback award. I'm not even sorry. Okay, I'm not sorry. So there's that. All right. And we know that the MVP award was for Lamar Jackson. It's funny because, Chels, I don't know. I didn't necessarily know what the voters would be. I did not think it would be nearly unanimous again. I did not see that coming. That was very surprising to me. I definitely thought that there were other players that were going to get first place votes. And when I saw that that essentially almost didn't happen and he was almost unanimous again, I was like, wow. So As we know, the one person that did not vote for him for first place is Aaron Schatz. He's like one of these DVOA people. I think he's one of the people that helped create DVOA, which is a nice way of saying he's a nerd. Okay. And I like nerds. Okay. I love nerds, but sometimes nerds are very annoying because all they want to do is be cerebral and not be logical. And that is the problem. So apparently he has made his rounds because he has gotten dragged on social media about his choice for a lot of reasons, right? Josh Allen was his first place vote. Dak was his second place, and Lamar was his third place. But so he heavily relied on his metrics that he created. That's what he's been going around and saying. He relied on the metrics, not the film. Okay, well, that's your problem there. This is my problem with this, Chels. I'm gonna tell you why he's a fucking hypocrite. Because, first and foremost, based on his DVOA metrics, Dak Prescott was the best quarterback in the National Football League. So if that were true to you, why did you not vote Dak for first place? Why was it Josh Allen? 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 So Dak Prescott won a 2 seed, won the NFC East, which many people thought that Philadelphia was going to repeat. And essentially, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills waited to the very last game to get in the playoffs. Remember, they had they lost and then somebody else would have won, they would have been out. Okay. Right. It took week 18 for you to have a playoff bid. Now, yes, you did get the 2 seed as a result because of the way that it was set up in terms of wins and losses, right? And strength of schedule and all that stuff. But y'all were literally and potentially going to not be in the playoffs. So I'm trying to understand. Oh, right.
Because they were either
they had to win.
They were either the 2 seed. Was it 2 seed for them? They were either the 2 seed or not in it. Like that was wild. Yes, so that means that y'all need help and just, I mean, you already explained it about Dak, so how could it
merit? You didn't follow it.
Huh?
By your own merit.
You did the metric and you said, I already know how this gonna go. And then when it came out that it was probably Lamar and Dak, you said, oh, wait a minute. Switcheroo.
Second thing I got a problem with this whole DVOA metrics thing that you're using as an excuse. Because I don't care. You not choosing Lamar doesn't bother me. Anybody that would have not put Lamar in first place votes. I mean, if it was more than just him, it is what it is. Everybody's not going to necessarily agree with that logic, right? But I just find it funny that 49 other people did not agree with you in your little nerdy DVOA. Okay, 49 other people did not agree with you in the nerdy DVOA. This is another thing. Since we want to be all about DVOA, the Ravens ended this regular season number 4 in total offense in DVOA. The Ravens does not have a 1,000-yard receiver. The Ravens do not have a 1,000-yard rusher. So who do you think, Mr. DVOA, was doing the legwork of a number 4 DVOA ranked offense? That's all I want to know.
I wonder who. Does it
lost one of their best players? Lost one of their best players.
Lamar Jackson.
Lost one of their best players in November. Had one of the toughest schedules coming out of the bye. Who was responsible? What was the reason? And don't tell me the defense, because the offense was putting points up. Wasn't like they were putting 30 plus points up.
Now we seen that. We seen you stomp out a couple people.
What was the reason? That's all I want to know. What was the reason? Who was responsible for that?
He needs to look and see if there's an error in the formula on his Excel sheet. That's what it sounds like. It might be an error in the format. You know how when you save it and email it and open it and email it and then mess up the formula? Possibly that's what happened. The
Exactly. So this is the problem that I have with people like Shatz and other people that, again, I don't care about other people, like having opinions that somebody else should be MVP, because I do think that there were other guys that absolutely were in consideration for the MVP. I do. What happens though is that I don't end up taking y'all serious, because y'all will see and tell me about Josh Allen Allstott, who we like to call on this podcast. Y'all will see it and talk about Josh Allen Allstott, about what it is that he's done, but y'all will refuse to talk about the fact that the man has 18 interceptions and 29 passing touchdowns. 29 passing touchdowns and 18 interceptions. That is a nasty business, Chels. Okay? If we are eliminating him being his best fullback that he can be, right? He has 29 passing touchdowns and 18 interceptions.
And do we count for quarterbacks, when quarterbacks fumble, we count that in a separate category, correct?
It's a turnover. I mean, yes, it's a turnover.
Okay, but if you add it, do we need to add that in? Because that's
okay. Let me try to find. I'll try to find that.
I'm wondering if they consider do they consider, two separate things. I mean, I guess interception would be a pass, but
yeah, I am going to try to find what I can about
how many times he done fumble.
About how many times we've seen this man fumble. I'm going to try to find it.
That's going to happen because he runs a lot. So that's going to happen, but it happens a little bit more with him.
This was, Chels, for shits and giggles, the second highest interception percentage since his rookie year. Josh Allen. Just saying.
And this is the person that you chose over Dak, who absolutely cleaned up his interceptions this year.
I just
the Excel is racist. That's what it sounds like.
It sounded to me like you're a little racist. I'm still trying to find turnovers for Dak. For Josh Allen. You said Dak. That's why I said Dak. But I would like to know how many total turnovers that Josh Allen had in 2023, because I know. Okay. So apparently, he's turned over the ball 100 times in his career. Guess what year had the most?
This year?
22.
Oh, 22 there was?
No, this year was 22.
Oh, this year is the most. And he had 22. Now, this is not interceptions. This is fumbles.
This is interceptions and fumbles.
All together, 22 times.
This is total turnovers. Total turnovers.
Okay.
22 total turnovers.
So he removed his team from scoring 22 times. And 22 times he gave the other team an opportunity to score more points.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like the most valuable player to me.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Okay, I don't know what else to tell you. Don't even follow your own metric, because you didn't give Dak Prescott a first. I wouldn't have no problem with that, because it would have been consistent with what your metrics claim to be.
Your metrics claim to be. Yeah.
Listen, and
even with those numbers, it really should have been a conversation with Lamar and Dak. If you're talking about the quarterbacks, because I know other people were on the list with Lamar and Dak, and then the drop off goes to whichever. But even with Lamar, this tells me that there is a great gap between him and any other person in the conversation. Even if they are in the conversation, it's still a wide gap. And I just feel, and I know you don't like to say stuff like this, is that we need to be talking about Lamar and a little bit more of the same conversations that we talk about with Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he's not going to be able to do that until he wins the Super Bowl, and I understand that, and that sucks.
And that really sucks. And you know what I was watching this morning? The Bills 30 for 30. And they went to the Super Bowl 4 times and lost 4 times. And
Very
Jim
true.
Kelly, and don't get that shit twisted about none of them players on that team, because Jim Kelly was a bad motherfucker.
He sure was.
He was a bad man. And so, unfortunately, you are judged by the big game, by the ring. But don't get it twisted. Dan Marino don't have a ring. Don't get it twisted. So
quite a few don't have a ring. Like there's quite a few Hall of Famers in there that do not have rings.
That don't have rings. So I understand what you're saying, but when you see such a big gap between a very good quarterback and then the next person, like now we're talking about somebody on another plane.
Yeah.
And I think that when we talk about Patrick Mahomes like he's a mystical being, we need to be talking about Lamar Jackson like he is a magical Negro as well.
It's Black History Month, baby. I don't think that there's any other player. I believe that this is true. I don't believe that there's any other player that has won a Heisman and two league MVPs. No other player has done that before except Lamar Jackson. So while I believe that 2 MVPs essentially solidifies your legacy, a Super Bowl would absolutely win. A Super Bowl win will put him absolutely, and now we can start putting him in Patrick Mahomes territory in terms of how we view him as an NFL player. I already think he's a Hall of Famer with 2 MVPs.
Absolutely.
He'd go to Canton.
Y'all can wait for the rings. I'm not waiting for the rings to put him in that.
No, I'm just saying that's the cherry on the top. That's the cherry on.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, waiting well for that because it's so many factors that come into, and that's what makes it so great. And I'm not taking away from Patrick Mahomes. That is something. I mean, that is one of one, right? But so is Lamar Jackson, and unfortunately, you are going to be judged by that, But I don't think that you're just going to find another Lamar Jackson in 5 years somewhere and just pick him out the sky. Absolutely not. Just like you're not going to find another Patrick Mahomes.
I definitely agree with that. I just think that, at the end of the day, we can now start taking dual threat quarterbacks extremely seriously because they are what the league will be and by the vast majority in a couple of years, as far as I'm concerned. When you look at the quarterbacks that's coming out, like Jaden Daniels and, stuff like that, that's Caleb Williams. I don't necessarily consider to be a dual threat. To me, he's more Mahomesy. He's more Mahomesy. Like he's not a runner, but he absolutely can make plays with his legs.
And to your point, that starting to use your legs more is why Dak had a better season.
Right. Yep. Because Dak was running around. I was like, remember Dak doing that?
Girl, and he looks funny because that's a big boy. Like he's big down the bottom, and so when you bigger, down the bottom. So a lot of these players got little skinny legs. But when you are bigger down the bottom like that, you look like you're running in sludge.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when Dak uses his legs, look at what happens, pick up the few yards with your legs. All you got to do is pick up 2, 3 or whatever. But once he started using his legs, so like you said, they're going to have to start running a little bit more. And that dual threat will, hey, you ain't got nobody open. You be the one that's open.
Absolutely. You be the one to make the play. So I definitely think that that's something we'll see more of for years to come. All right. We didn't do a podcast after championship weekend. And it wasn't any particular reason. I definitely didn't have... I'm not as mad as I guess other Ravens fans were. I'm highly disappointed. But life be happening. I had a lot of stuff going on that week, and so things happen. So we're just gonna give a quick TED talk. We're not gonna get into detail because at this point we know what happened. We know how it happened. But Reeta and Chels and Reeta will give our quick synopsis of what we saw in those games. So first game up was Ravens and Chiefs. Chels, in a couple of sentences, what happened?
This is the first time a team that was not my own broke my heart. And that's all I have to say, because I might actually start crying. The Ravens broke my heart that day.
There's been a lot of blame going around for the last couple of weeks about who's responsible. And I think that y'all, because it's not me, because I see it as clear as day, need to start equally distributing blame on who's responsible. It's the head coach, because he is the head coach. It's the offensive coordinator because he coordinates the offense. It's the quarterback who runs the offense. And when your coach says, the game plan was to run a lot of RPOs, I don't know if y'all know this, but that means that he was allowing the quarterback to run the plays at the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
So I know y'all, we love to protect our little nephew, our little godson. We love to protect Lamar because Lamar deals with so many critics. And I understand why we don't like to hold him accountable, but you got to hold him accountable. And that's where I stand with that. The one team showed up being who they was. The other team showed up being who they weren't. And that is why the Ravens are sitting at home and the Chiefs are sitting in Las Vegas getting prepared for a game on Sunday.
And let's be for real. The Chiefs won't making they won't making a whole lot of noise out there. It was like a whole half of football before anybody scored. The end score was 17-10?
Yeah, and they scored all of that in the first half. They scored all of it.
They scored, yeah. So it wasn't like that. So there were plenty opportunities for the Ravens to do better than what they did, which is why I was so frustrated. If they was getting if the Ravens was getting blown out from the beginning, I just went on ahead and started watching my crime TV shows or something. But I actually was like, what is happening? What? And then it just started to, and like I said, I think I tweeted out, hey, I seen this movie before, y'all.
And that's exactly what I said. I was at the stadium and I was like, when Zay fumbled, I said, well, I know how this ends. So I'm going to go ahead and go about the rest of my evening, because what I'm not going to let y'all do is upset me. And I don't like being in negative spaces. So I got up out of there because I prefer to be in humbling and calm spaces. And it was not going to be humble and it was not going to be calm when that stadium let out. So I was out of Dodge. The Lions 49ers championship game. What happened?
By the time I saw what was going on, I felt good when because the Lions was dealing. They jumped
out on them 14-0.
They jumped out on them, right? But when I saw what the 49ers be doing, and I said, here they go. This is what they do. It's almost like they do this shit on purpose. And then I was like, here we go. Outthinking yourself. And once I saw how it went, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I went ahead and I was in Virginia and I took the dogs and I said, come on, y'all want to go to bed? And I went to bed. Because I'm not going to be brokenhearted twice. I'm not going to be, now I wasn't as upset as I was about the Ravens, but I was just like, you know what, hey, y'all don't respect me. I'm going to bed. And I went to bed.
And nobody, the football god said, we want this to be the flavorless Super Bowl. Rice and roni versus bland barbecue.
like it is. I was like, y'all ain't giving me no kind of no kind of nothing. I said, you know what, whatever. I didn't watch any sports shows. It really felt like it really felt like the Cowboys had broke my heart again.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not dealing with y'all. This is too much.
Yeah. Too much. Can't do it. Won't do it. Too much. All right. So with that said, we know that it is the Chiefs and the 49ers that are playing in the big game on Sunday. 49ers favored by 2.5 points. Now, this will be the fourth time this in terms of the Chiefs, I think, were underdogs essentially in every not the first one. This will be the third time, not the home game. But this will be the Chiefs' third consecutive time that they will be an underdog. So, Chels, how do you see this going?
What do you say? Don't ever count out Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And I'm conflicted. Like, part of me, sees the Chiefs emerging as the evil dynasty, the New England Patriots. And, I want people to spread the wealth around. I don't want the same team to keep winning all the time or whatever. And of course, that lady get on our nerves. And now Travis Kelce gets on our nerves. And we don't want to keep on seeing all of this stuff. We don't want them to be happy. That's how we feel right now. I don't care if y'all think it's petty and messy. I don't care because you can't whip my ass. I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing that lady. And I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of what the NFL is doing. I know that it is probably all a sham anyway. I'm tired of it. But also, as a Cowboys fan, I cannot have the 49ers get a 6th ring.
Okay.
So I'm in a lose-lose. My preference is that the Chiefs go ahead and do what they need to do and let us go on about our day.
Yeah. Okay. So you would prefer the Chiefs. You're picking the Chiefs. Okay. I'm picking the Chiefs too because I don't trust Kyle Shanahan. I literally can't trust a man that has all the weapons that he has and has Christian McCaffrey, who just won Offensive Player of the Year, and Christian McCaffrey probably gets 10 touches in the whole game because Kyle Shanahan wants to show y'all that he a quarterback whisperer and let Brock Purdy do the same shit that the Ravens did a couple weeks ago, which is not run the football and throw it to the top 5 pass defense, right? Like, I don't trust Kyle Shanahan to do anything properly. I think that the 49ers have the better team across the board, except at the quarterback position. The problem is that the quarterback position is so dynamically different, right? Because Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Travis Kelce, yes, don't get me wrong. He is the best tight end right now in the National Football League, but we're not going to act like Kelce is up there in age, and we're not going to act like George Kittle ain't just as good out there. He's the top 3 tight end. Everything else, to me, San Francisco washes them in talent. That's just my opinion, right? But I hate the fact that they're going to win because, as you all know by now, because it's making its rounds, that Chels and I were on the Jenkins and Jones podcast. Those are our cousins over there. And we talked about this, and we talked about them, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, doing media runs all week talking about Justin Tucker. Like, Justin Tucker doesn't bother anybody. And y'all want to sit here and act like Justin Tucker tried to intimidate you. Like, Justin Tucker's like 5'10". He's probably 180 pounds fucking soaking wet. And you guys want to act like Justin Tucker was intimidating y'all. You want us to believe that is true when there's video footage. Like, we can literally see Mahomes and Tucker looking like that they're having conversations. But the one thing that I'll say, Travis Kelce did that shit in Justin Tucker's face. Now, I still think it's punk shit. Okay, but Travis Kelce at the very least threw his fucking helmet while he was facing him. Patrick Mahomes did threw the tee off that he would normally put the ball in to hold the ball. He did that shit behind his back like a little punk bitch. Ooh. Okay? If you're going to be about it, okay? I think that's the other side of your family over there doing it, because Pat Sr. don't get me to be the type that's going to do some shit behind somebody's back. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to stand in your shit. Travis Kelce is an asshole, but at the very minimum, I can say he stood in his his asshole shit. You, Patrick Mahomes, did the shit when the man turned his back, and I don't respect that. I think you're a phenomenal football player. I think you're probably a cool person. But what I do know is that when conflict comes, you ain't about that life. That's what I do know.
Oh, well, this is easy. He just can't fight. That's all.
Absolutely, he can't. He absolutely cannot fight. He cannot fight.
Travis ain't scared. Travis had to fight Jason Kelce his whole life. He's not scared.
Exactly.
Who was Patrick fighting? Jackson Mahomes? No. He can't fight. That's why he got to be a real good athlete. Because you know what? Don't nobody bother you when you're a real good athlete. They don't bother you.
That's all I'm saying. So I don't respect what Travis Kelce did either, but I respect him doing it in his face. I don't respect nobody picking on nobody littler than them, period. I think that I just don't. I don't have no respect for that. However, what I do respect is that if I'm gonna be an asshole and I'm gonna stand in my shit, I'm gonna stand in my shit. Don't be an asshole and not stand in it. Don't fucking throw stones and hide your hands, baby. Don't do that.
Can't fight.
You're a windmilling ass, because I know you're a windmiller. I know you are.
You can't fight.
So maybe you should leave people alone if you can't fight. Maybe you should do that. That's all I have to say about that. So I would love for them to get their ass beat, but they not, because Patrick Mahomes is still the tier of the National Football League, and they're gonna find a way to fucking win this game. So that's what it's going to be. One thing we are looking forward to, Chel, is the halftime Super Bowl show, which is Usher. And we know that, it's starting to come out like who's supposedly going to be there. Apparently, he asked Justin Bieber to come, which I said, oh, Lord, the whites is going to be so happy about this, because they was like, this halftime show was getting be a little too black, okay? So Justin Bieber kind of balances the scale. Then you got Alicia Keys, who's half black. So that balances the scales a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Who's supposed to be there. And so they said, this is just a little too niggery for me. Okay. But adding Bieber and adding half and half Alicia Keys makes it a little bit better, I think.
Is this show, is you do one of them things like that man did with the spreadsheet? Did you just do a race spreadsheet? Are you assigning values based on quantity of Negro?
That's absolutely true. And one of them is 50% Negro, 50% not. One of them is full not. Okay. So now we gotta see who else is coming out there, because then the scales start balancing.
I think that it's going to be some very ATL. I think it's going to be Ludacris, Lil Jon.
They better be there. They better.
I think it's going to be very ATL.
All right. So, what 5 songs would you have to curate for the halftime show? What songs, if you were doing this, what would be your songs?
Okay. Now, this is just my songs. These are not, because I know people will be saying, oh, because I heard y'all talking about Oh My God for all week long. And Oh My God is not on my list. So I would say, yeah, definitely yeah. And that's where Lil Jon and Luda and all of them come out. Superstar. And I think Superstar, because like that's the one when everybody is playing his Tiny Desk concert. That's the one, and it started that challenge. Everybody was doing a challenge. I think Caught Up will be in there. Another fast-paced song. I think You Don't Have to Call will be. Well, I'm sorry. Let me start over, because I said, yeah, Superstar, Caught Up, You Don't Have to Call, and Bad Girl.
Okay.
Those are the ones that will have me on my feet doing my dance. That's me.
Okay. Some of this is stuff that I just like for my top 5, and then some of this is what I know that it has to be done, because while I'm not a curator of like tours or concerts, I just know how these things go. So you got your biggest hits have to be a part of your show, whether you like the song or not. So that some of this is just what I think, because you have to go with the hits, right? Some of this is just me. I'm with you on Bad Girl. I actually would like that to start. I actually think that Bad Girl would start. I would like My Way. He don't really do Usher music. He don't really do a lot of old Usher songs, but that's a good one. I think that would be good. I do think You Don't Have to Call, because from what we've heard, he is going to be doing the roller skate thing. And if you remember the video, they had those Heelys on. I believe in that video. I believe that was the video. He had Heelys on, dancing in the club.
Yeah, so, that's You Don't Have to Call. I remember the outfit. Yeah.
That would make sense to me if he's doing if he's doing the roller skating thing like we've heard that he's going to do. Then my second would be Oh My God, not that because I like it, but because that is a huge hit. It's a huge hit, and you have to do the hits. And then would essentially be last with Lil Jon and Ludacris. And I remember the first time you heard that, I was at the Super Bowl. Actually, I was at the Super Bowl in Houston in 2004 when that song dropped, and I was like, "This song is fucking phenomenal!" Like, I wanted to hear it over and over and over again after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Lil Jon produced that.
Sounds like it.
It sounds like it. Definitely sounds like it. It definitely sounds like it. But yeah, I mean, honestly, with Usher, like, girl, Usher is a star. He is a star. Like, and I know it's a lot of mumbling, and y'all like to act stupid during Black History Month, but it's a lot of mumbling, a lot of who is that? Who even knows him? Who even that? Hey, quit lying to yourself. Because the Super Bowl, the people is not calling somebody that is a nobody to come and do the Super Bowl. So
exactly.
All of that up, and it's gonna be a black ass Super Bowl performance, because that's what he does, and you're gonna enjoy it. So I completely agree. For Rihanna, was it Rihanna last year?
Yep, Rihanna last year.
Usher, and you're going to just have to deal with it. But I can't wait. And both of us have seen Usher in concert in Vegas.
Yep.
If you were able to have that experience, you had a once in a lifetime experience. He put on an awesome show, and it is something different about artists of his caliber performing in small venues. It was a little bit more intimate than the big stadium tours. And it was just a great, 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 great time. So shout out to him. Shout out to a great, and I am referring to this as the Usher Bowl. There happens to be two halves of football around the Usher Bowl.
I agree. I'm ready for the Usher Bowl to make its thing. So we are both picking the Chiefs. I am absolutely reluctantly picking the Chiefs because I don't hate the 49ers, but I also understand that, Chels is a Cowboys fan and the 49ers are
this year football guys.
They're major rivalry. I'm just going to assume that but the black ass Super Bowl that we were all cheering for, that the football gods didn't give us, is going to actually happen next year in New Orleans. That's where I'm going to go with that. Black ass city, black ass teams equals a black ass good time. So
I'm black ass month, boy. We might OD next year.
I'm thinking that's how that's going to go. We'll see. But ultimately, I'm thinking that the football got something for us in next year. Because I heard it's very unseasoned in Las Vegas this week. So here it is. All right. Don't forget to book your next winter getaway with our sponsor, Expedia. Package your flight and the hotel to start saving big. Plus, don't forget to sign up because members earn up to 10 times more one key cash on flights when booking a package. Start saving by clicking the link in the description and booking your next trip with our Expedia promo link. Make sure you sign up with the Gridiron Gals and Expedia. All right. So, real quick, college football, ain't a whole lot going on. But Chip Kelly is leaving his job at UCLA. Leaving his job. He's the head coach of UCLA, which was a top, a Pac-12 program, which is, Pac-12, how do however, he said, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. I'm just going to go ahead and do something else. So he decides to say thank you, but I have other things planned, and is becoming the offensive coordinator for Ohio State. And when I heard this news, Chels, I was like, I'm sorry. Like, you're leaving a head coaching job to go to a offensive coordinator job, but some things started to make sense. Apparently, people that I know that follow that program close, they were going to essentially fire Chip Kelly anyway. So it actually saves them money that he left.
Okay.
So there's that part of it, right? But ultimately, maybe Chip Kelly himself doesn't want to do this anymore. Maybe Chip Kelly realizes that NIL is there's only certain programs that are going to be able to compete in dealing with NIL. And that UCLA is probably not going to be one of those programs. And so maybe he got the hell out of Dodge. I don't know. What you think?
I think both of those things make sense. I did hear that he was about to get fired.
Yeah.
I actually thought that he had already been fired because I was so shocked by him taking that offensive coordinator position. I was like, did I miss Chip Kelly getting fired? So yeah, it was definitely very bizarre, but there's always a reason. And the fact that he was able to do that and save UCLA quite a bit of money. I wonder if there was some sort of deal somewhere, or some kind of group text that we don't know about. Because he paid them a whole lot of money.
Always a group text, Chels. There's always a group text popping. Always a group text.
I can't remember. I know that they ended up having to pay like 1.85 for him, but I think that they saved something dumb, like something million. Like, y'all was in the group text like, hey, we could just let you just go and not embarrass you by getting fired. I don't know. You would have to try. I'd get my coins or something. I don't know.
Hey, friend.
What got working on this is
so bizarre to me. It's just so bizarre. It's just
It's very strange.
incredibly bizarre to me. I definitely think that NIL is changing the landscape of college football at a rapid pace. And I told everybody, look, because listen, I want to be clear. I want these kids to get paid. I've always wanted these kids to get paid. Yeah. And honestly, they've been getting paid. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like under the table shit wasn't happening prior to it becoming legal, right?
Absolutely.
It was always a thing. But now the legality of it just makes it essentially hard to delegate, right? But I said this is going to unravel extremely fast, and no one's going to know what to do with it. No one's going to know. And you know what? You know what's been a part of NIL? Everything. The extension of the college football playoffs, the breakdown of the Pac-12. There's a part of that that's dealing with it. The super conferences combining and becoming more, because the SEC and the Big Ten are, doing some stuff together now. The everything now is more geared because of NIL and its impact. And if you don't have the boosters to stay up, it is going to be hard to keep coaches, because ultimately they don't have, if they don't have the funds to compete, they're not going to be able to do it. Long gone are the days that's going to be like, well, I wanted to go to the university that my daddy wanted me to go to. I grew up being a Florida State fan or whatever. Hey, who gonna pay me the most? Because I got a family.
Hey, the Cash App got to hit.
The cash App gotta hit. So there's that. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, but I don't know. It could be a starting trend of guys getting out of the game because they just simply can't compete or don't want to do the work in terms of the NIL stuff anymore. We'll see. All right, it is time for the volcano, Chels. Y'all know we love to put somebody in there because y'all always saying and doing stupid ass shit. This week, who do you have in the volcano, my good friend?
So, when big things happen in the world, stupid people come out of the woodwork. So you shared me in a comment where, in a meme or a post, where there was a club scene where bottle service people were carrying a sign. And this was in Vegas, I believe. Was it in Vegas?
I believe that was at Park in DC, actually.
Oh, dum-dums. With the sign that said, Chris Brown is better than Usher.
Oh, they did.
Like, I don't even know what is happening to why you feel like you need to even put that man in a sentence with Usher the Raymond. When I say no competition, there is no competition. Like there is nothing. There is nothing. Y'all are enamored with them 3-4 backflips that he did and them 3 songs. And maybe it's the complicated dance moves. Maybe it's the backflip into something sort of Harlem Shake thing that has people enamored. But don't play with Usher like that. Don't play with him like that. That man has been consistent since he was 14 years old. Man is 45. Dude, 45 and can perform for 3 hours straight because he ain't on the crack rock.
Not his mama.
Don't play with Usher. So whoever bought the bottle, whoever put the words on the sign, the bottle girls who brought the sign out, all of you all go into the volcano because this is a ridiculous conversation. It's a waste of time. I wish that the reading groups were separated again because y'all are messing it up for everybody. And I don't want to keep on seeing that kind of stuff. Nobody is giving Chris Brown a residency. Nobody is putting him in Super Bowl performance. Nobody is sending him on a stadium tour. If he's so goddamn good, then why are these things not happening? And I'll tell you why, because he's not as good as you think he is. And he never was as good as Usher the Raymond. That's
I'm just very surprised how much people love Chris Brown, aside from the fact that he's a domestic violence abuser. I'm never gonna let that go. He can't sing anymore. He uses auto tunes now because his voice has been destroyed by drugs and alcohol. He has yes, he can dance. He can still do backflips. Great for fucking him, I guess. But we're not gonna act like Chris Brown's career has ascended in quite some time. He makes the same 3 songs that y'all like. They have the same exact beat. They have the same exact production. They all sound the same. He is not the same. It is you can, and I'm not telling you who to like and who not to like. If you like Chris Brown's music, that's cool. I'm telling you that if I go to a club and I see that song, I'm turning around because clearly I'm not at the right club. I'm not in the right space. I'm not in the place that I need to be. I'm not in the place that I need to be because these are not my people. And I told you earlier, Chels, when I feel negative energy, I leave. And to me, that's negative energy because I don't even think you believe that. Usher Raymond has a diamond album. Chris Brown has a diamond in his tooth.
If y'all want to see a crackhead do backflips, we can go down to North Capitol and K Street, and it's going to be plenty of them early in the morning. You can see a crackhead doing a backflip if that's what you want to see. If that's what you are so amazing about.
Oh my God. Look, we try to tell y'all like the shit that he doing now today, like in 2005 or whenever he came out, it was cute, right? Like, all right, you know, all that potential and stuff. And then he started singing the same 3 songs, and I was like, hey, this ain't fun. And like I said, there ain't not one album that can ever say it could be better than Confessions. That could say it could be better than 8701. And I'm not talking about Grammys or whatever, because I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm talking about numbers, albums sold. Usher Raymond, the 4th, and his album Confessions sold 18 million copies. That's one album alone. One.
He could have stopped recording in 2004.
Your favorite can never.
Ever.
He got songs out now with Her that is phenomenal. He got a song out now with the Good song I really like with Summer Walker. He dropped a new album because he's going on tour and he wants y'all to sing all the new songs for his new tour.
And it's good. It's a good album. And I'm such a creature of habit. I like old Usher. I stay in his old cuts. And I was in here grooving to that new album. He got a song with Burna Boy. Like, listen. Like I said, come with me. We can go down New York Avenue. We can go down Florida Avenue. We can go where Florida and New York and North Capitol all connect, and we can see about 3 crackheads doing backflips. Let's just get that out the way.
Yeah. So
we is keep on making it seem like Chris Brown is in the same stratosphere as Usher D. Raymond,
and that's on that. Okay, that's on that. Enough. You can like him all day. He still ain't in the same stratosphere. I don't give a shit.
Nowhere near.
Miss me with that. All right, I am throwing Steven Jackson or 5 Stacks, whatever the hell his name is, former NBA player, into the volcano. I am tired. This man, something wrong with him. He a little off. Okay, poor little Tank, because he doesn't understand context clues very well. And it is quite disturbing, actually, because he out here loud, wrong, and he's a fucking idiot. Okay, so I don't know if you heard this, but Austin Rivers, we know is the son of Doc Rivers. Okay, Austin Rivers, who when he was coming out, when he was in high school, was one of the top players in the country. That Austin Rivers. Okay. I guess he was asked about Bronny James, LeBron's son, who we know plays at USC, right? Yeah. And Austin Rivers said, and I quote, "I don't want to see Bronny play with his dad. I went through something similar. What happens is that everyone starts to discredit everything that you've done. I don't want that negativity to come his way. He doesn't deserve it." Now, that to me just sounds like some sound advice, or some just, concern because of the dynamic of the father and son and who his father is in LeBron James, right, and the pressure that could potentially come with that.
Which is valid.
And it was fine. Right. Completely. This motherfucker decides to respond and say to Austin Rivers, and I quote, "And your daddy not LeBron. Shut up. Difference is you trash. Bronny not. Can't compare to him, scrub. Now, again, Austin Rivers was one of the top players coming out going to college, and when he was coming out of high school. I know we like Bronny. Bronny is not. Okay, Bronny is not one of the top two. He's not. Okay, and this is no disrespect or shade to Bronny.
Absolutely, it's not. Absolutely, it's not. And Bryce is the one you need to be looking at anyway.
And Bryce is going to be the one, but as of right now, Bronny's not the one, and Bronny is not in the same position that Austin Rivers was in when he was coming out. I want to be clear. So we're wrong about that, Mr. Stacks. Okay, you have a thinking problem. In the words of my girl Chels, likes to when people cannot understand context, we like to say that these people have thinking problems because nothing that Austin Rivers said was disrespectful. If anything, it was well thought. It was something that was, if you're Bronny, you could respect that because this is someone who understands the father-son dynamic. It's relatable. Right. Steven Jackson, you were never Austin Rivers when you were coming out of.
You were not.
School. You were not him. You were never him. You were never him, period. You go to Chicago and check in with 17-year-olds and you brag about it. And you want us to take you seriously. And we're not going to do that because you don't even understand how somebody is being sympathetic to a situation as opposed to being critical to a situation. What I'd like you to do is... you need to talk to somebody, and by somebody, I think you might need to talk to. You need to have a remedial reader, or you need to talk to somebody that can help you understand things that you read, because your comprehension skills are very low. And I'm talking to you like this because I feel like that this is the only way you can understand exactly what you're saying. I don't know if he has an IEP out on him, but if I had to guess, it's a doozy. It's a doozy. That IEP is a doozy.
And also he is he's very immature. He's running around talking about he's a $70 million gangbanger. Which you 40. Know, huh?
It's 40.
And you are yes. And, glorifying the gang lifestyle when the people that are in these gangs wish that they would have had the opportunity to get out of the hood, to get out of their circumstances like you. And here you are, rich, waving the flag and being a dummy and embarrassing your family in front of everybody because you look so dumb. And everybody dunked on him. People were, and listen, great day for Austin Rivers because people were remembering who he used to be. That's right. Was going on, everything was going around to the point where Austin Rivers came out and was like, "Hey y'all, I didn't even have to say nothing. Y'all had my back. I appreciate it." You look so.
And apparently this is not the first time that he's attacked Austin Rivers. So he apparently has an issue with him. I don't know what the issue is, but apparently this is not the first time that he's made comments about Austin Rivers. So my thing is that whatever you got going on, baby, get that hate out your heart. Get that hate out your heart, baby.
See how the hate make you not think straight and clearly?
It gives you a thinking problem.
People think you're not smart in your head. You need to stop being a hater, because basically now I see is the hate overshadowed the words that was on the screen.
Absolutely. That's it.
All he saw was Austin Rivers talking, and he just laughed.
That's it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that, I would like that man to do better and understand what comprehension is and understand that he does not have the capacity to do that. So maybe you need to get help, baby. You're too busy on that podcast, with that microphone in front of you. You think because you're a former NBA player, that means that you can just say things and not have consequences, when we want you to be a little bit more well-spoken. Okay. You sound like all the other ignorant podcasts out here. I know Matt be so annoyed with him. Like Matt Barnes probably just be like, "This nigga here.
Are you okay?"
Do CTE go to basketball players too?
Well, I mean, to be honest, they are a part of the research. An elbow to the head will do it. A strong elbow, and these ain't no baby elbows that's flying around. Imagine getting elbowed in the head by Charles Oakley.
Boom.
Child, I will fall out and never get up.
You ain't lying. I ain't getting up.
So it can be, but I think that CTE moves a little differently. The comprehension issues, this is a foundational problem. This is a foundational issue. It's very, very different with CTE.
Yes.
This is a foundational issue, foundational learning issue.
Yes.
You think of when we learn about context clue and reading comprehension, it's in elementary school.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he missed that part because they knew he was going to be a basketball player. I don't know.
He probably was 6 feet tall when he was 8, so probably.
And they was like, that baby ain't going to never be no Rhodes Scholar. We're just going to give him a ball to bounce around and hopefully he can make it. And that's what happened. So sorry for you for people letting you down, baby, because you ain't got it at all. All right, before we go, do you have any final thoughts, Chels?
So I'm looking good. I'm just looking forward to a great performance at the Usher Bowl. I'm looking forward to good time with friends. We'll be together and having our good time and doing whatever. And that's pretty much it. This season has been a ride, just like every other season. So, and now we're at the end. Now it's time to say
goodbye to all our
girlfriends.
GRI.
Oh, Jesus.
D.
Sound it out, baby. Sound it out, baby.
UNGLS. Oh, I did it.
I'm calling you Steven Jackson. Use your finger, honey. Under the word, baby.
I was over here like,
was you looking up in the sky? Did you see the answer up there? You was like, G.
Oh,
I do have one more thing to say.
Okay.
I would like to congratulate you, my dear best friend, on becoming a homeowner.
Oh,
I'm very excited because when you win, I win. And I selfishly have been making these plans. And y'all, she knows this, but I've been like, so my room, now what color can I do my room?
The lady that told me that the guest room is the Chels room. That's what she said.
It's my room. She's talking about guest room. And I was like, guest room? No, it is my room that I will allow people to stay in if they
every now and again. Yeah.
So I've claimed the room, and then I've claimed decoration for the basement because I want a Prince basement. And so we are negotiating terms.
Who wants the Prince basement, y'all? Not me. She
won't let me have purple. I want stone purple walls. I want purple walls. And we have negotiated, and we've gotten the walls up to a light lavender.
Yes, they're going to be a light lavender. So I will be working through all of that as time goes on. Thank you so much.
Yes, but I am definitely very, very proud of you. And it's going to be
thank you, friend.
New life, and it's going to be fun. And
yes,
I can't wait to spend a lot of time here.
I'm going to have a backyard, man. Like I'm like, wow, I got a backyard now. So I'm looking forward to plenty of sitting out there smoking my cigars or something.
And hookah chair. We can have a good time.
Because that's the summer staple in these parts of towns in Maryland. So I'm going to be ordering my crabs, and I'm going to be sitting out in my little backyard, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm excited about it. But thank you, Bestie. I appreciate you. So we want to thank you all for listening. Please enjoy the Super Bowl as much as you can. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. I'm here for Usher. Chels is here for Usher. Everything else is just I'm here. So
we could be cutting up.
Yeah, I'm here so I won't get fined. So that's essentially it for me. So we'll talk about the recap of the Super Bowl in next week's episode. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.